Good morning, everyone. Today we have with us Professor C.S. Shastry, Principal of NGSM Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences. As he's retiring from his post of Principal of this college, I'm glad to have this interview with him. His contribution to pharmaceutical industry is immense, and let's have a formal talk with the Professor himself. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, so let's move on to the questions. What do you
Certainly.
think about the current status of pharmaceutical industry in India?
I think it requires an elaborate answer because the pharmaceutical industry, what I have seen, maybe almost four decades ago, 40 years ago, where I was working in actually pharma industry, which was manufacturing Schedule C drugs, biologicals especially. I was working in a pharma company which was manufacturing surgical sutures. Those days, literally we used to take the sheep casings and deslime it and take it out, and it was quite labor intensive. To produce a certain quantity of this catgut, what you call it, as surgical sutures, we used to have more than 200 or 300 workers at that point of time. And the similar was the case in the manufacturing of tablets or capsules or liquid orals, which was heavily labor intensive. Recently, obviously, we have to be in touch with the pharmaceutical industry so that our students are trained or oriented towards that. We keep on visiting the industry, and of course, there is enormous change. You can't recognize. Actually, I could not recognize the change in the pharma industry. Everything has mechanized now. Instead of 100 people, you can manage it with the 5 people. The drugs or the raw materials which come into the factory is getting automatically unloaded, quality analyzed, weighed, and then prepared into a formulation, packed and sent across. And the quality assurance side and quality control side are very, very rigid now and very, very meticulous. In fact, as you are aware, the India is now the pharmacy of the world. We are proud to say that we are exporting more than 169 countries the vaccines. During the COVID era, it was India which supported almost half of the world or the entire world. Similarly, in the third world countries, especially African countries, US or even Europe, Indian pharmaceutical preparations are going in a large scale. So there has been a tremendous change in the technology, in the way how the industry is performing now. And of course, right now, currently, India is the third largest manufacturer of pharmaceuticals, which includes APIs as well as the formulations. And in terms of I think cost, it is stands fifth or something like that, and we are going to reach around 150 billion dollars turnover very shortly. And see, there has been a tremendous improvement. A person like me who has worked, say, 50, for 30 years or 40 years ago in the pharma industry, absolutely we cannot, see we can see the difference, but it is very difficult to fathom. I know with the introduction of AI and other things, everything is robotics, everything is managed. It reduces the chances for errors and other things. Yes, India has got a wonderful future because India has got the highest number of FDA approved pharmaceutical companies outside USA. So that's why it is aptly called as pharmacy of the world. Yeah, that's the progress, and our challenge is how to tune our students to that challenge, because normally, the typically the educational institution lag behind the advancement what happens in the industry. This particular statement is not limited to pharma industry. It is true for engineering or anything. We slightly education or the academics lag behind the advances that is made in the industry. Yeah.
So you're saying it's more of technology right now.
Yeah, technology driven, obviously. Everything, if you go to a doctor, he'll be talking about remote surgery, robotic surgery, something. The margin for error is diminishing because everything is controlled by artificial intelligence and robotics. Everything is coming into play. So the latest thing is we are now talking about 3D printing in drugs and personalized medicines. Say perhaps if I have got a disease, the people will try to find out my genetic composition and try to find out specific solution for my disease into the personalized medicine. In a way, it is going back. Going back. Say when Ayurveda was practiced maybe 200 years ago, the persons used to prepare some jadi booty and all, make it all those things, make it a packet, and this is your drug. And each individual who approaches will have different drugs. It is not that same medicines like what they give, paracetamol give like that. It is not the case. Okay, what you have got, you have. Then he used to, if you have got a knee pain, if you have got any other disease, people used to go. I mean, the practitioners used to go to the nearby forest to get a specific jadi booty and make it a concoction and give. And that was the case in other formulation as well. Now I know that clock has turned almost 360 degrees. Now we are talking about again personalized medicine. If we have a specific problem, we will prepare the medicine specific to your problem. Say if you are a diabetic, for example, what type of diabetes, what is causes diabetes, and we will try to address only that particular thing. We will not generalize the things. So it is the circle is complete, but in a more refined and advanced way, targeting the disease directly. That is the paradigm shift what we have seen in the last decades.
Okay. So coming to education in India, what do you think about pharmaceutical education in India, and is research becoming more and more important?
Yeah, I think I did just mentioned it in my earlier reply. See, pharmaceutical education, fortunately or unfortunately, is finding it difficult to catch with the trends or the changes what is happening. Just like every in technology, every 6 months, or in the computer industry, every 6 months it changes. Moore's law is full in action. Similarly, in pharma or drug development process also, whatever the drug developed till 2000, in the last 200 years, it has happened in last 10 years. So the change rapidity with which the industry is changing, or the drug development process itself, finding of the new drugs is changing, is something stupendous and very, very challenging for the students and the educations to catch up. The problem lies there. Fortunately or unfortunately, whatever I don't think I should use fortunately. Unfortunately, what is happening is the apex bodies, or the decision makers, or the syllabus makers, content makers for the education delivery always lag behind the technological advancement what is happening. Having said that, an institution which has got the flexibility and the open mind to alter its syllabus or the content will survive. That's what I think the intention of new education policy, that the flexibility, autonomy has to be given for the institutions. They will form the syllabus, what is required for the industry, what is required for the patients, and a lot of changes can be done. Unfortunately, say for example, we are governed by Pharmacy Council of India. Pharmacy Council of India makes a particular syllabus, and of course, it takes some time to implement, maybe 5 years or 10 years. What's happening is, if you change the syllabus in 2020, by 2025, the whole scenario changes. So this catching up game is really challenging. The college like ours, I have been with this NJSM Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences for last 15 years as the principal of this college. We are constantly trying to improvise and are constantly trying to upgrade the facilities, so that the students will not be fish out of water when they actually go into the field or the industry. Having said that, still there are many, many gaps to be filled. Luckily, we had a strong foundation. My job was to fine tune it and see that students are industry ready, students are community ready, students are patient ready, in the sense that they will be able to address all these aspects. That way, though the councils are trying to make the changes, I see that we have to be very quick, and more autonomy, more flexibility, depending upon the region, depending upon the content, depending upon the course, should be given to the institutions. Of course, it has got its own challenges. Immediately, if the autonomy is given, the flexibility is given, people will start talking about there is no uniformity. Student passing from some other state is not as well informed as some other state. So that uniformity is lost, so it is very difficult to judge. To address that problem, I think the council is coming with the concept of having exit examination. Other than the student examination, what we conduct here in universities for giving the certification from the university, after the completion, they have introduced, for example, for diploma in pharmacy, they have already introduced the exit examination. They have to pass. That is pan India. Every student who completes diploma in pharmacy has to give this exit examination. That is one way of trying to find out whether the student has got the minimum required education or not. So in a nutshell, I think we will have to be always constantly evolving and changing. That is the key word. If we are going on holding to the textbooks which have been authored in 1980s or 1960s and continue to read the same thing, I think students will find it extremely difficult. That is one part of it. Second part of it, believe me, the actual learning starts after you get graduation. When you get into the field, I'm sure that you'll appreciate this, then only the actual learning field like situation. Most of my students who come back here, the alumni who come back here, sir, बहुत सीखना पड़ रहा है, all those things, statement थे, अभी तो comfortable है, foundation तो मिला, लेकिन बहुत बहुत सीखना पड़ता है. These are the general comments what we get from the students once they complete, and that is not limited to pharma education. It is across the spectrum, any field for that matter. That's what I believe. Yeah.
So, coming to your experience as the principal of this college, what are some of your main highlights, your experiences?
Yeah, see, I have been a principal since 1990 in different colleges. I started off my this career as the principal in a college near in Dharwad. Later on, I came to Mangalore. I founded another college nearby, and this is the final destination. In the sense that I am retiring from NGSM IPS. Here I joined in 2009. So it is a long tenure what we had. 15 years is a good time to change. When I joined, fortunately, foundation was very, very strong. Foundation of the college was very strong. This college started in 1984. So already it has logged in several years. So the foundation was very strong and the people knew about this college, number one. Second advantage or the advantage what I had is the very strong management support. We have visionary management in Sri Vinay Hegde, the Chancellor of the Nitte University now. He always thought at least 5 years ahead or 10 years ahead. Now also he says what will be your college in 2030. So that gives a great strength. And if at all a college has to develop, a management has to give enough support, financially, morally, or guidance, everything, which I was fortunate to get it. So whatever the dreams I had, we have to do. I could really execute it without any difficulty. Say for example, after I joined, we had three or four programs in 2009. I joined in 2009 November. Then by the time 2014, we had increased the number of programs to 14. Now we had increased the number of postgraduate programs. We had only 3, we made it 7 now. We had only 10 or 12 PhD students at that point of time. Now we have got 70 PhD students. We also have introduced a course called PharmD, which is doing very well, which is basically patient centric. Pharma education. The leaders of the pharma education thought that the students should have more patient centric approach rather than industry centric approach, which I mentioned in my earlier talk. Now the pharma gives a more importance to the patient centric. That is called patient counseling, adverse drug reaction monitoring, and all these aspects. So there is a course called PharmD, 6 years course. That also we started. And one major shift what has happened in the educational institutions in general and NGSM IPS in particular is the focus what we are giving to research. Till 2015, we were basically a teaching school. Okay, students come to the class, they sit in the class and listen and go back and do some assignments, go write the examination and pass. And that was the job of a teacher. See that students pass well, and they possibly in some institutions of eminence will see that their placement is also done. Otherwise, it's fine. I gave the degree, that's the end of the story. But 2015 onwards, when the education policy or the people thought that an education institution, research to an education institution, research is also an integral part. Then the university, our university came into existence in 2009. So university, or 2008, I may be corrected. So the university started telling that a teacher, if at all he has to be called as a good teacher, he should have a component called research. Without research, just repeating, as especially in this for Gen Z students who have got the access for all the material through their internet or any digital platform, they have to be innovative, something new. That is what is research, right? So unless a staff or the faculty member is focused on the research, he may not able to give the new idea. That is why 2015 onwards, we actually concentrated on research as well. Of course, the teaching part will continue as it is, research as well. The faculty members started publishing lot many papers in very good journals, by going by the standards of whether it is Scopus or Web of Science Index, the Q1 journals, Q2 journals. Our 40 or 50 faculty members who are right now here, they publish more than 150 papers. So, and also the additionally of late after 2020, the government gave a thrust that they have to be innovative, they have to go for what you call patenting of the things, publish your patents, publish your articles, and now the new thing is how much it can be commercialized. Patenting itself is not the end; it has to be commercialized. Whatever you find out, say we say that we publish 130 or 40 papers every year, but ultimately what how it ends up, or our PhD programs or our postgraduate program, if all these programs end up as a what do you call bound volume, it is of no use for anybody. So now we are focusing on converting into commercializing the findings. Say for example, in this college we do some research on plant material, try to find out the active component. Traditionally many people use plants, plant sources. So from that you isolate and extract the active component and try it. Okay, I found out this plant's extract is very good for diabetes, for example. So just binding it in a paper and submitting is not the end of it. So you try to commercialize it through you can patent it and commercialize. That is the focus what we are giving, and I think that is the future what is going to happen. So in a nutshell, since our last 15 years, we strengthened our academic delivery program. We strengthened our admissions for various programs. As I said earlier, we have got more 14 programs now running, all the admissions. And of course, we consciously make an effort to see that every student who passes gets a job. So, to give an example, 100 students of undergraduate B.Pharm, I am calling, pass. It means nearly 60 or 70 of them go for higher studies, M.Pharm, post-graduation. Remaining people, they get placed very well. Similarly, postgraduate students, we get placed very well. So, the focus, we made a conscious effort to see that all the students who complete their degree get a job here. So these are all the things which we have stabilized over a period of time, and financial health also we have stabilized. The college is doing well. So because financial health is also very important for the development of the college. If you do not have money, the college will not develop. You can't buy the gadgets, you can't buy the equipment, you can't buy the instruments, and possibly you can't give good salary also to the staff members, which is very critical. Everybody works for that time. So in all these fronts, we have made rapid progress, and there has been a substantial difference. I think I should really thank the management for giving almost a free hand. Yes, you do it. And I'm happy to say that my faculty members, staff members, everybody, teaching, non-teaching, everybody rose up to the occasion and delivered.
So, reflecting on your journey as a student, a principal for 40 years, do you have any advice you'd like to give the younger graduate students who are entering the pharmaceutical field?
Advice means I always go to the class. Though I am the principal, I go to the class. I go to the class and I only tell one thing. Maybe people agree with my views or not. I would like to give more importance to the skills, equal importance to the skill and the attitude, not only knowledge part. Knowledge part is fine. You pass the subjects, you read and write and get some 80 marks or a good CGPA distinction pass. That part is fine. But what is required, because more than 10-15 companies visit every year here, pharma companies, big pharma companies, either virtually or they come here. And one thing they ask, how do you troubleshoot us? How do you think you can sort out the problem for the company? I'm not much interested, we agree that you have passed, it means you have got the basic understanding of the knowledge part of it. But your attitude and the skills, what you have, that is why what you have is going to be the defining factor. So I strongly feel the students who are going to pass should move out of the college classrooms. I always tell my students, I'm not much interested in the regular classroom. This one, move out of the classroom and see the world, and that is going to give more education or equally important education than the classroom teaching. So that's how the things are. And my advice to the students is they have to be smart, and which they are now. I'm sure that the students are very smart. They know very well what they want to do and all. We feel that, okay, this boy is not doing well, he is not focused, and all those things we tell. But believe me, most of those students who are the backbenchers and troubling us in the class all the time, they are now CEOs of many companies. And other day I met one gentleman, one of my student in the airport. He said, "Sir, I am from in a 2012 batch. I'm in a particular company. I'm doing so well. It is all because of blessing." And that boy was the most trouble-giving boy. But they remember. So there is what is required is street smartness. How do you manage the situation rather than just CGPS? So I want all my students to be very smart and move out, look at the world. That is the thing. Okay, college is fine. That's enough. That is what my advice for the students. So far, most of them have done well, and that gives immense satisfaction for us. When the student comes and says, "Sir, अच्छा किया हमारा CTC इतना बढ़ गया, इतना अच्छा हो गया, family हो गया, ये अच्छा है." That gives, I think, much more satisfaction rather than the salary checks for a true teacher. Yeah, that's how it is.
So that's the message for all the students.
Yeah, that's my message, and they are all good. They are all good, unless maybe handful of them, deviate or something like that. But everybody is intelligent. I believe that all of them have got immense inherent capacity. It's only where you are, directing it and where you are focusing. No, I'm not limiting my students' career to the pharmacy alone. Many of our students, for example, we had large number of from Gujarat. And all these people, half of them are in the US now. Some of them running stores, some of them running, hotels or motels. Not necessarily pharma. They're not that they are going to only pharma industries, but they are making big in their life. Many of our students are doing very well, and I am happy to say that I have not come across a pharma graduate coming and telling, "Sir, life has been spoiled because I opted for it and nothing is happening." I don't get. I did not get any of them there. Of course, everybody makes their own life. So we are trying to help, and students are good. No, we don't make the mistake of telling that the person who has not scored well, only 30 or 40% or 50% mark is useless, but they are also equally brilliant. It's only the thing that I'm not interested in this man. I'm not interested in your pharmacology, but I'm interested more in this. No, these are the things approach. But be good in whatever you do. That is the message, and attitude and the skills. They are the defining things rather than only knowledge. Right?
True. Talent also plays an important role.
Yeah, talent is required. Yeah, see, if you are not able to communicate what you know, somebody will ask you, give a lecture on a particular topic, and you fumble, you say, "I don't know." This sort of thing, nobody has got a patience to this. Support you. Okay, you are a wonderful boy. You can do it. You can do it. Who has got the time? Unless you have the ability to express what you can do. I mean, it's generally true not only for pharmacy, every student, unless you know whatever knowledge you have acquired, if you don't have the ability to express and impress the person sitting across and sell your product, it is maybe for a job or selling your product, whatever it is, where you will reach? You will not reach. That's why, the marks and the professional success is not does not have much relation, according to me. Yeah.
It's also very competitive.
Very, very competitive, highly competitive. And the people who are like this, they move up. That's what it is. I had many students. Now they call from Australia. They come, sir, aisa ho gaya, I got it. Other day he was in the Bangalore airport. He comes and touches feet and says, sir, I just told him, I mean, I don't just retiring. I attained 65. I'm just walking into the sunset now. Sir, 65 years you have made my life, and all those, what the students, some of them do remember, sir. And also he was very happy to say, he wanted to convey to me, सर आपका एज 65 हो गया, मेरा CTC भी उतना ही हो गया. आई सेड डन, यू मेड माई लाइफ, यू मेड माई डे फॉर द डे. CTC of 65 lakhs is not a, and 2012 batch student is not very long ago, just 10 years back. He was working for a company, he is changing the company. इतना हो गया, आपका उम्र जितना मेरा CTC हो गया सर. I said you made my day. That's how it is. Yeah.
Must have been very overwhelming, very happy moment.
Yeah, certainly. That's why I mean when I said that these sort of things, when the students say, no, he was not a topper, class topper. He was very good. Mr. Arpisha, he's a Gujarati. He's not a topper in the class. But when they come and say this, I think that gives more satisfaction. ठीक है यार, हो गया, बहुत अच्छा है. That gives a more satisfaction than तो paycheck तो आता ही रहता है. When 10 students come, sir, aapse wajah se, more importantly, my wife was there when he was telling. So it gives added this one, in the airport he was coming and say, see, my student is doing well. I mean, that gives great satisfaction to a teacher. Yeah.
So I guess we conclude the interview now. मुझे भी बहुत अच्छा लगा बात करके. You're really a very inspirational person. That's what I felt with this interview.
Thank you very much. Anyway, it's just extempore. I am not prepared, but that is how I look at life. I mean, life has to be cool and fine. Only don't lose the focus. That is how I travel. That's why I think it makes simple. Yeah, it makes life simple and not complicated, and you can be happy. Even at 65, I feel fine. No, not an issue. Sort of.
It's etched in your memory now.
Yeah. No, the age is only a number. Something has to be done, So, no, I got immense faith on all the students. All the students. Even if they are making some trouble in the college days, okay, we make enough noise, kaisa kiya, get out, and all those things. But ultimately, we know they have their life to lead, So, to that. But there is a lot of scope for pharma students. Lot of scope. Lot means lot. It is not just, they have to be good. That's why we take them, you take seminar, you conduct this and all these things, you deliver a talk and all those things. They have to be good. If they are good, sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. Otherwise, how these Sundar Pichais and Satya Nadellas will reach there, whom we are talking about that. They are all Indians, I don't think they have got two heads. They have got the same thing, It is the extent to which we apply ourselves. That takes us far beyond, isn't it? That's how it is.
So let's come to the end of the interview. It was glad knowing your insights, and I had a lot of fun shooting this.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much.